one?
No.
God damn it!
You even had it set up right.
I'm new to this streaming
Hey,
thing. Welcome to
welcome.
Evilive, live media commentary that can't shut up the fucking right intro video, apparently. Answers the question also, who is the devil incarnate? Who gives a fuck? Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we review The Great British Baking Show! Collection 10, Episode 1! Cake!
We have talked about this for years.
Oh my gosh.
And it is finally fucking happening.
people.
We're going to discuss one of the greatest television shows of all goddamn time. We're not even going to bother rating these fucking episodes, probably. Or we will, but it'll be just like with what we do in the shadows, where it's all fives.
Yeah.
Like, this show is the reason why I keep a television set in my house. I'm not going to lie. I could give a fuck less about most other things. This, I get 1 hour a week every year, and it's just the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah. Great British Baking Show makes me happy that I'm alive. Like, it just feels
straight up
happy. There's a strange person named Jana John in the chat saying about damn time.
Right? It's almost like she was in on this or something. But like, fuck, like, this show is just like, I'm not a happy person. I'm not a nice person. I'm a very
I don't know joy.
Sad person. I like being miserable, I guess. This is the one time I can step outside of myself and just be happy. Even when it gets so goddamn tense, you can shove all up my ass, and I'm gonna shit out a fucking diamond that's gonna pay off my mortgage. Like, I don't care. I'm still happy the whole time. And then
Mithril diamond. For
it to start, like, this intro was the greatest intro the show has ever. Like, I had the hardest time not fucking calling you last night and being like, oh my god, have you seen it? It was so good.
I wish you would have, because I didn't know it was out until today. And the thing is like, it's not even like if the prequels like started, you know, in the last month, then it would make sense they did a Star Wars show. Or if the Mandalorian new season dropped, then it would make sense that they did a Star Wars intro. It made no sense. It was just like, hey, let's just do this.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because we're getting this months after it was released on the other side of the pond.
Really?
Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's true.
I'm pretty damn sure it's released over there a few months before it comes here. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's how it goes.
You UK people don't deserve this before we do.
No, we appreciate it.
Do you see our politics? We need this.
We really do. Because this unites everybody.
It just, the thing is it's one of those shows where I genuinely feel good watching it. Like, yes, it's stressful. Yes, my anxiety gets up there and I get super tense and I have nervous laughter and I make stupid comments that my wife tells me to shut up because she wants to watch the goddamn show and I need to stop talking. But I love I just have so much fun watching it. And you get this wonderful encapsulation of varieties of people that, I mean, I don't have in my normal life. I don't know if you do or not. But it's totally different.
Yeah, I kind of get a little bit of,
I usually just have like fist pumping MAGA people in my life, to my fucking sorrow. Like, that's my life. I don't really get like just a diversity of people and ideas and thoughts and stuff. It's usually like Satan, MAGA type stuff.
Yeah,
that's how it feels like anyway.
That's fair.
It's true or not. Yeah, the show gives Jana anxiety as well. Yeah, no, I feel you, 100%.
I think if it doesn't give you at least a little bit, there's something wrong with you.
Can I just say something about buttercream? It was mentioned in chat.
Oh my fucking Christ! It's not that hard.
Can we just stop with the trying to hide mistakes with buttercream? They're gonna see the mistakes. They're gonna realize it. It's on film. Like, there's no hiding it. You're like 2 seconds from presenting whatever it is you're making. You're not going to hide it successfully with buttercream. So you'll hide it from your mom at home. You're on a TV show where it's recording everything.
Plus, you're giving it to professionals.
Yeah.
People that are literally titans of the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Yeah, it's
So this
great
is
to see that.
presented by Noel Fielding and Matt Lucas, and Matt Lucas lost some weight.
Yeah.
Dude
And
has
Noel
dropped
Fielding
a
is
pound.
not the vampire that he always claims to be. He's starting to look like he's aging a little.
I still want to hang out with Noel.
No,
Desperately bad.
I fucking love that man. Like, he just seems like he'd be cool as shit to hang out with.
Yeah, I kind of just want to like go to either like an insane asylum that's been shut down for 50 years and just wander halls with him, or like a graveyard and just sort of hang out and frolic. Like, I just feel like he would be someone that would just be down with the setting and just sort of get into it.
Mm-hmm.
He's too cool.
Yeah,
Thing
he
is,
really
like,
is.
I didn't know shit about him until, and he was even in a show I watched, IT Crowd, and I had no idea it was him. Like, I had he was not in my orbit until this show.
Have you never seen The Mighty Boosh?
No.
Oh my God. Okay.
I've never heard of that.
I'm going to look it up really quick, so I'm blanking on what episode it is. So you go ahead and talk. I'm going to look something up because you really need to watch this one specific episode because I quote it constantly. And I feel like a fucking idiot because I have been quoting it with my wife since that episode came out like 10 fucking years ago.
Wow.
And I never realized that she never saw it, so she didn't get it. But
you're like, we've gotten inside, but she's like, my husband's weird. I don't know why he says this.
I mean, to be fair, it's me, so I'm sure she's just like, cool. Okay, so season 2, episode 5, Legend of Old Greg. You have to watch it. That is why I fucking love Noel Fielding.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to say it's on Prime or something. It's somewhere that's streaming. But yeah, watch that shit. It is hilarious.
Man, I'll have to check it out. I was a purist of British Baking Show originally. Like, if it wasn't the first 2 female, seemingly lesbian hosts, I didn't want to be involved in it anymore.
Yeah, they were great.
They were hilarious. I loved them. I 100%. Like, you need a host that can really carry that type of a show. And the truth is it's not a particularly intriguing show. Like, you have to be into baking to really care about it in any way. I mean, it's a competition, and you know, the individual people and the mistakes or whatever, the praises that they get, you know, sort of carry you along and stuff. But you need the hosts to add that flair, the extra bit of interest. And, you know, the original host did such a wonderful job. And the original judges. I mean, Paul Hollywood's a fucking vampire, so he's eternal. But, like, the other host that, you know, he's a fucking Mary Berry was just goddamn amazing.
Yeah, I fucking love that woman. If I ever met her, I would hug her without even getting consent. So I'd probably get arrested. But it'd be worth getting arrested for.
I feel like I would ask my wife for permission to have sex with her. Like, I'm not particularly attracted to her, but just as like a thank you, you know, just like, it would more be like an apology afterward, but with the intention of a thank you.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, let's do this because it's going to be awesome. And like, I'm sorry, that wasn't as awesome as I led it up to be, which is my entire fucking sex life in a nutshell anyway. But
you know what? It happens.
Yeah. I guess that's to say that Noel's that great. He goes above and beyond all of my fucking biases and locked in insanity to turn me around and make me like, yeah, he's great. He's amazing. And then Matt Lucas, I gotta be honest, I'm not a big fan of. I don't really care if he exists.
Same. Yeah, I honestly, I liked the last co-host a lot more. I mean, he's okay. He's definitely a good player too. Yeah. But yeah, I could do it without him. Like, it could just be Noel Fielding going around and fucking with everybody.
100%.
I'm cool with that.
100%. I love those moments that we get, and we certainly got it in this first episode of this season, where he's just talking to someone and he's just going off on weird tangents, and they're just like, can I please just get back to cooking? Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. And he's like, this has gotten really weird, hasn't it? And she's like, what, my food? He's like, no, our conversation. And she's like, oh yeah, that fucking jumped the shark a long time ago. Like, what the fuck are you standing here for still? Yeah, so I love it so much because he's so just out there and weird, and just reminds me of, well, us. Like, it just reminds me of fucking my friends. It's like, I love it so much. Hey, Bogus, thanks for joining live, man. Good to see you. I love me some Mary Berry so much. So, Polly Hollywood is amazing. I swore in this episode he was going to throw out a handshake when he said that
I
fucking...
fucking saw that shit coming too. I was surprised that didn't happen because that fucking red velvet cake.
He said it was a triumph.
Perfection. It was. That was like a
triumph.
You could take a picture of that son of a bitch and put it like in the dictionary next to what a red velvet cake was. Yeah. It was beautiful.
He said it was better than his.
Yeah.
Put your hand out, motherfucker.
Yeah, when there wasn't a handshake, I was just like, damn. Well, first I was like, damn, there's going to be a handshake on the first fucking episode. Holy shit. And then there wasn't. And then it's like, damn, there wasn't a handshake? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. I can't tell if this is like a pinnacle of my life I should be paying attention to or not. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're talking about a baking show. Or if it's like, yeah, of course you're talking about a baking show. This is the most important thing in your life right now. Is that sad? No, I can't tell.
Here's the thing. It's something that makes you fucking happy. If we're going by just like the root of our philosophy, what makes you happy is good. What you fucking hate, of course, paraphrasing. Well, slaughtering realistically is evil. But yeah, like this is like I said, for me, this is a reason to keep a television set. Yeah. Like, I fucking love this show. So I'm totally fine with coming on and talking about it because I believe it is that fucking good. And anybody that doesn't know about it needs to know about it.
Yeah, if you haven't watched this.
This could unite all of us.
Oh, you have to check this out, Bogues. You have to check this. It's a weird meditative, like, it puts me in this weird meditative state. Like, I just feel... in life generally, I have anxiety and I have depression and I have fucking, I just want to fucking stop it all, like end it all and stuff. And then I turn this on and I just sort of feel good for a while.
Yeah. You get a good solid hour of not feeling that.
It's great. Just, I don't know. And it's not a distraction, like just sort of like turning your attention away. Like you genuinely feel good about it. Which is weird because you have no personal emotional attachment to any of these fucking people. They're not even in your country in most cases.
No.
So you're just like, it's a rando fucking person. But I'm cheering for the guy fucking Janus, the fucking got star baker this first episode.
Fucking awesome.
He's a goddamn hero.
It's like, booze and everything? Fuck yeah, let's do this shit. Well, and it's just like a great example of like connecting with the cast is like last season. I was gonna fucking riot in the streets if Giuseppe didn't win. It would have been a fucking travesty.
You're the only person rioting in the street.
No. It would be me and Janet. We'd be like throwing fucking rocks at cars and
everyone's like, what are they doing?
We'd probably be down at the Nut House in America Fork, but we'd get the point across. It should have been Giuseppe. But luckily, Giuseppe won, so crisis averted.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, the show is a baking competition. There's 10 different episodes. The first, I think it's like the first 8 or 9 or something, are specific categories of baking. And then the final 1 or 2 is like, using all of that knowledge that you gained or whatever in order to make the best possible foods.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's the thing. It's not just like sweets and stuff. Like they do have shows where it's actual savory meals, like actual meals and stuff. And those are some of the most disheartening fucking episodes.
If you struggle with your weight, this might not be the show for you.
Oh my God. It's terrible because all I want to do as soon as I turn it off is go fucking bake. Yeah. And I love baking, so it's like a double whammy.
Just makes me want to eat.
It's like, no, it's midnight. You need to go to bed. You have to work in the morning. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. I love it. Like, I love the mishaps that happen from time to time. Like the little mistakes and stuff. It just makes it real and human.
Oh, yeah.
And to see the genuine care and concern in these people's faces as they are cooking, trying to find out how, because the thing is, there's like 3 different, for each episode, there's 3 different phases of the competition, right? So the first phase, you have to make something that is like a challenge. Wait, what? I'm getting mixed up now because I just watched the kid one and it's different.
Well, so we got the signature challenge,
Right.
and there's certain
Like the first
rules
one
that
is
you have to do.
like
What?
they're just making something. The second one is
Kind
the
of. Well, no,
blind one,
there's
right?
yeah. So the first one, the signature challenge, is there's certain parameters you have to stay within. Like with this one, it was you had to make 12 uniform mini sandwich cakes.
Right.
So it would be something like that where it's like, this is the parameters, you make it yours. So you add your flavors to whatever cake you want to make, you make whatever kind of cake you want to make, your frosting, your filling, all that shit. That's entirely up to you. And then with the second one, it's
like the judge's choice.
Everything you have to do, yeah.
And it's a challenge because they don't give you all of the steps in the recipe. You have to sort of fill in the blank with your own knowledge in order to make whatever it is they're suggesting that you make.
Which that's like, if you're not a baker, seeing that shit, that is no fucking easy task.
Yeah.
Like there's recipes that I've been doing for years that I could like just write it down just out of my mind and that I know it. If you miss one of those things, you're making something completely different. So that is just challenging as fuck. And that's the part that gets me every time, is seeing those recipe cards or recipe cards. And it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to do that with that? Fuck this shit.
Yeah, they're like,
gets me.
Make a Genoese sponge. And you're just like, the fuck? Like, what? And the thing is, it's not always, you had mentioned the savory earlier, but it's not always a dessert type thing. When you're thinking of baking, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to bake a cake or bake a cookie or something. No, it's like food stuffs. Like it's the whole gamut of all fucking food. So, sometimes it's going to be, maybe it's a bread. And in each week, each episode is broken down into a category. And this is cakes for the first one in this particular one. The next one's biscuits, which is cookies for us Americans. But like, each time it's something brand new. So it could be a meat pie, for example. And they give you like 3 steps to complete the entirety of the recipe. And you just have to fill it in with your own knowledge. And you have to not only do that, pardon me, but you're judged against the completed fucking recipe from the judge themselves. Like they make it for the other judge. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that shit. And it's so funny too, because like obviously we're the audience, so we get to see what they're supposed to make, and then watching them try to figure out what the hell they're supposed to do. It's just so disheartening. It's like, no, just take a little bit off. Oh God, they're gonna tear your asshole. Fuck. I love that.
It's like a study of the human condition, because you get to see human beings in their most stressful in the moment, but also in their most joyous and in their most sorrow-filled. Like it runs the gamut, and I think that's what makes it so for me so intriguing and engaging, is that it's genuine, it's honest. It's not like building it up like, Hell's Kitchen or something where it's supposed to be like hyper reality to make it, interesting to the fucking ADD generation. No, it's slow, it's paced, it allows you to experience the moment, and then when you do get those moments, like the fucking, for example, we haven't seen one yet in this particular season, but when Polly Hollywood does give a handshake to a contestant, it's because it was an exceptional dish. It just feels like you're just cheering on the inside, and you can see the tears streaming down the faces of the contestants. Like they're so happy to have not appeased the judge, but to have made something exceptional. Like, fuck.
Yeah, because it's not like it's something that he does often.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been seasons where you see it once, and that's it. That's 10 fucking episodes. It's still one of my favorites was the one where it was a surprise, like, oh yeah, why don't you come in here, look at this real quick, and then he does it like sneak attack, and everybody's just like, what the fuck? And always tears, always.
I love the shock look. They're like, I don't know how to act. Are you fucking with me? Is this real? Because everyone's watched the show. It's been on for 13 seasons in the UK. So, this is the 13th season. So they've all seen it before. And so if you're the one experiencing it, you're just like, is this actually real? Like, am I dreaming? Is
God,
this
I almost
happening?
felt like I should have pulled up our conversation to read it off that we had when we were talking about Poly Hollywood handshakes. But that's just a you and me thing. I won't look it up. But it's a big fucking deal. If you guys haven't watched the show, it's a big fucking deal.
There's like the emotion is so real that, you know, there are often tears in every episode, you know, because you have 3 different challenges, and so you have 3 different reactions for each challenge, and not everyone reacts, you know, to however the judges call out their dishes or something. But when you do see it, like I'm a pretty, well, to be fair, I'm a pretty emotionally fucking insane person. I'm a bit manic in my fucking reactions, but to see people in such an honest way reacting to what they created for someone else, you know, just like to see the good or bad, to see how they act and how they have to then call their family members. They don't have to, but sometimes they do it, and let them know how they excelled. It's just this moment of pure joy that I wish I could be in on, you know, like as an audience member, it's great. I'm enjoying it. I love it. But to be on the inside of that, it's just so powerful. Makes me want to go hang out with Noel and make him a pie or something. I feel like if I made him a pumpkin pie, he would just like shit on it or something. Like he would just be like, "What the fuck is this? I've had like the best food ever created by humans, and you're gonna give me this shit? Like,
what is this, you fucking yank?
I'm gonna eat your face off right now. Like I'm just gonna go full Donner party on you." I don't know.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. So this stranger named Shauna, I don't know who that is, says, "Oh, like this season, that girl said she wanted to see if his eyes are as blue on TV as they see through your souls." She like called them the White Walkers from fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious. That was like right
and the cameraman was like, "No, really."
It's like, "Oh yeah, no, they really are." Which is great because you never get that interaction. Awesome. Like the camera is just sort of the fly on the wall.
Yeah.
So to have that happen, like when she's talking to the camera, that shit was hilarious.
So good. Oh, it's so good. It's just from all walks of life, all cultures, all coming together in one competition to just sort of explore. And it's not like a MasterChef situation, which I also love, but it doesn't make me feel good like this makes me feel good.
Yeah, these are all, they're not professional bakers. They all literally have their own shit going on. They have lives. They just so happen to like this and try out. So it's great to see that kind of shit.
Yeah. So
I mean, hell, this year it's like there's so many, like none of them are even remotely close to being a professional baker. That it's great.
Yeah, I mean they all have, you know, like anyone who does anything, you know, you have your strengths and your weaknesses, and it's interesting to see from in past seasons from episode to episode where different people shine because it's what they're comfortable with versus others, and just to see that, you know, as much as America is, and maybe less so because America is so huge and diverse, the UK has a bunch of different countries in it, a bunch of different types of cultures. And then because they're, you know, England was a colonizing fucking empire at one point, they have tons of different subcultures in it. They're sort of implanted from other parts of the world. And so you get this really wonderful microcosm of humanity represented in every single episode. And I'm not someone who particularly likes other humans, and I do my best to sort of abstain from exposure to other humans when I possibly can, because I think most of us are just garbage and we don't really deserve to exist. However, I feel like everyone on this show kind of deserves to be here more than I do. Like, I really like them all. Even when I don't like them, I like them more than I like my neighbor, for example.
Yeah,
Probably
like
I'm a horrible person, but
yeah, you're talking about the Junior Bake show. Like I completely forgot who that fucking guy was until we started watching that season again. Like the host that came from one of the Bake Off seasons. I didn't like him at all in that season. And then to watch him in that competition, it's like, oh, this guy's great.
Are you talking about the comedic host?
No. No, one of God, what the fuck is his name? He's a young kid. He was in like season 10, I think.
There
or
was a
something
returning person?
No. So in the Junior Bake Off, the one where it's the kids.
Yeah.
There's one of the judges is from.
Oh, right. Yes,
I forget his name.
Yeah.
But it's like, even people that I don't particularly like, it's like, okay, they're still pretty good people.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is with kids, I think, with like, it's not really germane to this show that we're reviewing, but when, Gordon Ramsay is dealing with like the Master Chef Junior, for example, you got to be a little bit more delicate with kids because you don't want to fucking ruin them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to help them grow. And so you have to be a little critical and stuff. I like how they, in the Junior British Baking Show, they do, sort of lean, instead of on the negative, lean on what they did well, and then tell them you need to work on X or Y to help them develop a little bit more, rather than just giving them a shining review or, just openly shitting on their hopes and dreams. Yeah. I like that. I mean, the truth is the only way that we grow as people is by failing. Like that's really what it comes down to. And there's 100%. No easy way to deal with that, as a human being. You just have to sort of stare it face on and say, all right, I shit that, and I put that shit in the bed, and maybe I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry, Johnny Depp, but that's my shit.
Yeah.
And it's there. So, you have to face your mistakes in whatever choices you make. But instead of ignoring it like most people do, and they sort of create new narratives to sort of craft how you're still a good person around it, like, no, they straight up say, look, you made this mistake in this way, and maybe next time do this to make it better, but you really excelled in these different places. That's how it makes me feel good, because it's not just this endless hyper, like Hell's Kitchen, where you're just like calling people donkeys and telling them to fuck off and like screaming in their faces. It's relaxed, and just the stress comes from the relaxed moments of actually acting the action of baking itself. The natural things that happen from accidentally tripping or flipping something over, which are just the best.
Well,
episodes.
I mean, fuck. There's also like this episode, Will fucking up buttercream 3 goddamn times, or was it twice? No, it's 3 times. 3 fucking times.
Was the final one you fucked up too?
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking, like, how are you going to do this in the time you have left? Like, at what point do you just say fuck it and just not have it on anymore?
Yeah.
Like, just try to hawk loogies.
So those moments, I love those moments where people are like, fuck, I'm done, whatever, fuck this. Because this is the kind of shit you would never see on an American show.
Yeah.
The other contestants are like, oh my God, you fucked up. All right, shit, let's fix this. I got time, let's do this. You would never, ever see that on an American show. Yeah. Because Americans are traditionally just selfish cunts that don't care.
Kind of the worst.
Yeah, we really are.
Thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we became the #1 country or whatever. So
USA.
Exactly. But yeah, it's I love this show so goddamn much.
Yeah.
That's really
and then there's these moments that you get of just pure humanity where the other contestants will come in to help the contestants that's struggling, for example. Maybe they're done with what they're doing, or they just have a moment to assist. And seeing those interactions, it gives me hope that we're not a doomed species that I've always believed.
Right.
Like I can't stress how much I don't like our human species.
Yeah.
Like the way that we treat each other, the way we treat our environment, the way we treat the other animals on this planet, we're the worst. Hands down the worst. But every once in a while. And this show just happens to highlight that.
Because it does give us that.
Yeah.
And like even like the endings, or when something really bad happens, like somebody drops a fucking cake or something. Like, it's not just that person experiencing it. It's everybody else in that tent that's experiencing it. And they're going to be emotional about it as well. And it's just so fucking beautiful to see.
Yeah. I also want to just throw a little love out there for Prue.
I think
she's
the shit.
Goddamn amazing.
Want to just get fucking smashed with her.
She would
I feel
too.
like she could put him back.
I
want to say that she drank me under the table. Like that just sounds like that'd be fucking awesome.
I feel like she would drink you under the table and then touch your wiener. Like I bet she's a freak.
Whatever.
I 100% think she's a freak. She is way too cool not to be a freak.
Yeah.
I hope she's a freak. Like I really want her to be weird. Like I bet she's like reserved and she's a proper English woman, and but inside there's some darkness. She's too goddamn like she loves the booze too much not to have a dark side. We could drink with her. I feel like at least for the first hour.
Try to keep up. I would try my damnedest.
The thing is like I'm a weirdo. Like I'm just a fucking insane person. When I look at anyone, I'm like, what about that person makes me want to fuck them? Like, I just instantly want to have sex with everyone.
That's not weird. That's just called being a human.
Oh, well,
like that's our fucking lizard brain. Like, that's not weird at all.
So I do it for everyone, and I definitely do it with Prue. And she is just this proper British woman with a wild side underneath this proper fucking label that she wears everywhere. And like her lipstick is a little bit off, but not all off. But it's enough to make you go, ooh, there's something there. Like there's, like maybe it's just me. Like there's this thing where you're putting yourself together or something, and every once in a while you get this little tick. You're like, ooh, it's a little off. Like fuck. She puts on her lipstick and she's like, suck a dick. Oh, it's a little off. Like there's just something about her that's a little fucked that it's just like perfect accept, Like this girl, I bet she does weird shit. I bet she wants to rub your toes on her nose for some reason. Like just some weird fucking abstract shit. She's like, yeah, let me just smell your butthole really quick. Just get a whiff and then we'll just get together. Like, I bet there's something weird about her, God damn it. And I want to know what it is.
Everybody has those weird tendencies.
I love her so much. She's so great. Maybe she's normal and I'm the fucking weirdo, which is probably the case.
No, we're going to go with the first party. It's everybody else that is fucking weird.
She's so goddamn cool. I feel like Paul Hollywood is more of a normal human than anyone else on that show.
Mm.
Definitely more than Noel and Matt. Like,
oh yeah, that goes without saying.
I love Noel, how he's like the thing I don't really understand about Noel is he presents this like genuinely disturbing. It's not even really disturbing unless you're like a normal fucking person. I suspect, I don't know really, but like he pretends to be like this gothic sort of weird character. Mm-hmm. But like when I watch him, like, you're Tuesday. Like you're a normal dude to me. Like I think you're normal. And so when he's like all weird and then everyone reacts to him as like, ooh, that's fucking weird. I'm just like, what? No, he's like every one of my friends. Like, what the fuck is? Yeah. I don't get it.
Well, it's like that one contestant. What was it? Two or three seasons ago. The one quirky lady. Right. Like they were BFFs, and it's like, yeah, no, that's normal. Like, why wouldn't you mix horror with baking? Like, that's just fucking dope. And then their interactions together, it's like, no, that's just normal fucking people.
There were like,
I'm the weirdo.
Two totally different generations. And like, she was like an old lesbian, and he's like, I don't even know what he is, and I don't even care. He's just a dude. He's just a fucking like cool cat.
No, he's a fucking vampire. That's what it is.
And it's just the fucking weirdest combo, but it worked. It worked so well. That's why I was so upset when Matt came out. I was like, what? No.
I was talking about the contestant. God, I can't remember what her name was, but the one quirky, like she was like some doctor shit or something. I don't remember.
Last season of this one?
No. It was like 2 seasons ago, I want to say. Yeah. I should probably have these notes up. Whatever. That takes effort to look up. All the collections, all 10 collections. So it's like basically most of the seasons. It's on Netflix. Fucking binge through them if you haven't watched them, people. You will not regret it. And if you do, you need some serious help.
Yeah, there's probably something wrong with you.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
If you don't like this show.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like, perspective is everything in life. Like that's all we have. You know, we were talking about the last show, how about perception is 9/10 of reality, or my drill sergeant told me that anyway. And like, I believe it's a truth, and you know, how
100%.
we see life is kind of how we see it as being fact and stuff. And you can see that with the discord in different political parties or social parties or religious parties or whatever. But being able to witness all of these different contestants from all walks of life, all different regions of UK in this particular case, it gives you a kind of a window into what it's like to be human, because we all experience life so dramatically differently, but we can all come together about a handful of things. And one of those things is food, and the combinations of different flavors making logical sense, and time and temperature and the chemistry having to follow certain guidelines. Like we understand these things as fucking realities that you have to uphold. And there's this sort of, and it's never overt in this show, and it's never even addressed as far as I can remember anyway, but there's this sort of, the way I like to think of it is there's this sort of occult legacy of baking. It sounds so stupid when I say this, but I genuinely mean it. There's this sort of occult legacy of baking, where you understand the ingredient percentage that needs to be put in, the time it needs to be put in for, the amount of attention it needs before it gets put in with the temperature, and the temperature that it needs to be maintained at for X amount of time. And if you get all of those things right, like, of all the insane things to throw together at once, if you get it perfect, then you get some weird fucking fat white guy putting his hand in your face for a handshake. And it's like the most amazing thing you could ever ask for.
Well, it's baking is in essence magic. Like it really is. I stand by that. I mean, it's fucking math. It's alchemy. Like it's beautiful. Yeah. And it's something that all of us can appreciate.
Yeah. And it makes me want to eat so much. It's the worst.
See, that's the funny thing. Usually, and this comes from years ago, tattoo shop that I used to work at. We used to watch nothing but ghost shows and cooking shows. It just got to a point where I stopped giving a shit. Like, I enjoyed it, but it never made me hungry. This show is the only one that every time I watch it, I'm like, fuck, I need some food right now. Like, even if it's something that I'm not particularly like keen on, it's like, yeah, I fucking need to either bake something or eat something.
I'm not even a cake guy, but this cake episode got me 100%. Like, when they do like tarts or like little sort of like pastry bases, I go insane. I can't handle it. Like, I need to eat something. Like, I will eat a human fucking limb as long as there's like a pastry base to it.
Right.
I will straight up Donner Party. I will fucking go crazy like fucking Dahmer. I will eat a human brain in a pastry cup if it doesn't have a soggy bottom. Like, and just that soggy bottom as a phrase, I would never, blind baking as a phrase, I would never fucking know if it weren't for this show. It just gives you those little drops of information that's great and a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Bogues is reminded of the film Chocolate from 2000. I remember that show. Johnny Depp.
I vaguely remember it.
I
definitely watched it, but I don't really.
It was like a sexy bakery. It was like an Italian sexy bakery thing. I mean, you can't go wrong with Johnny Depp. He's fucking dope. And then any girl you get to go with him is obviously going to be gorgeous. And you throw chocolate on top of it, and yeah, please, of course, I'm in. Have you ever like incorporated like food with sex before?
Those are stories for off air. But
okay then.
Yes, I have.
I have fucked a baguette.
I mean,
it was hard.
You know, every now and then you're a little fucked up, and it's like, God, that burrito's looking really good. I wonder.
My penis burns. Why, honey? I fucked a burrito. Yeah, we've all been. That's funny. I was just reminded of like fucking Seinfeld when Costanza was like introducing like a pastrami sandwich to sex and stuff. Like it became this big thing with him and this other girl of having food with sex. And I can never like wrap my brain around it. I remember as a kid, there was like, I grew up in sort of the 80s. And so there's like this whole movement of like whipped cream during sex. And I never got
too
it.
sticky.
Like, I just don't understand.
Makes
like,
a mess.
See, and then throwing like chocolate, which just hangs out. Like you can lick up layers of chocolate, but it's still residue there.
Oh yeah, it stays.
No, I don't want that anywhere around my junk or someone else's junk. Where like, how long am I required to continue licking this? Do I have to make sure it vanishes entirely, or can we just kind of get the essence of it and then let it harden to a shell later on? Like, at what point can I stop because my tongue hurts? I guess I don't know.
That's fair.
So maybe, I don't know where the fuck we got to that fucking place, but weird. So what was your favorite?
We're talking about a food show. I mean, it's bound to happen.
Of course, it's got to go to.
Yeah.
I guess my point is, I want Prue to lick chocolate off my junk. Is where I want to end this. I like her teeth. I'm a weird person. There's certain teeth that I dig. I'm not like a teeth person. 'Cause that's weird. That's really weird, actually. But like Patricia Arquette, she has like she teeth like me, where it's not perfect. Every once in a while, you get like a little jagged edge. I don't want it raking across my junk, but I like the look for some reason of like a little jagged edge. Prue has that, and it's just kind of cool. So
it's real.
Yeah.
It's the reality that we all knew pre. God, why can't I think of his name? Armageddon. What the fuck is his name? The director.
I don't know.
God damn it! He ruined everybody's childhood. Did Transformers, and that's why people hate him.
Oh, Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. There we go. It's the reality we all experienced pre Michael Bay and Armageddon. Like, he changed cinema because of making Ben Affleck get veneers.
Really?
He had some busted ass fucking teeth. Yeah,
That was him?
that was him.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, Michael Bay changed how we view
I hate that.
beauty standards.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate seeing pristine veneers on like an 80-year-old person.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
it's
no
weird,
sense.
man. It's weird. It's like, come on. Like, I'm young. I take care of my teeth, but I drink a fuck ton of coffee. These bitches are never white.
Yeah.
Period. Like, yeah, it's weird. Especially when they're like really old and they're really tan,
Yeah.
but they're really white. It's like, that's weird.
All right. I kind of want to go off on a little bit of another tangent here because now we're talking about beauty standards. Paul Hollywood he's got beautiful eyes. Yes. He's just an attractive man too. Like there's something about, and this is going to sound really fucking weird. I grew up watching Walt Disney shows, and Sword in Stone was sort of my like go-to fucking Walt Disney show. And all of like the kings had this like round belly. It wasn't like someone trying to bust into my office door. That was weird. Did you hear that? Was that audible?
No, I didn't hear anything.
I got like a fucking Shining moment. But it's like this fucking just a round, healthy human body, right? Paul Hollywood has that. And I don't know what it is, because I do everything I can to avoid that as a human being. I like exercise and shit like that. But I like seeing it. Like, I don't know what it is. I just like seeing a healthy human body. And he's not obese. He's not fucking crazy. He's just, he's a man who likes to eat. He's a fucking chef. He cooks. Yeah. And, that's it. And I like his body type. I like how it looks. It makes me feel good that there's people. This sounds so fucking insane.
And then the gravitas behind it. Like, he just has that air of, yeah, I'm Paul fucking Hollywood. But not in a dickish kind of way.
Yeah, he's not wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, he's not wearing sunglasses indoors. Fucking Al Pacino.
Hooah!
Yeah. But yeah, he's a cool motherfucker.
All right. I guess my point is I want to have like a gangbang with all of the people in like a Great British Baking Show.
I mean, Matt Lucas can
we just
watch.
make it happen?
I don't know if I would necessarily want him.
We could tag in. You wouldn't want him in there? Just gazing at you with his fucking steel blue eyes. Judging your every fucking wrinkle and fucking fold and like hairy nipple or whatever. I don't know. I feel like Prue would be fucking, you didn't trim up for me? You got some wild pubes down there. Do you have a soggy bottom too? Did you wipe? Like, I feel like I would need to go like through a whole regiment of like prepping before I slept with her.
Well, I mean, realistically, you should do that anyways pre-sex.
Sorry,
there's
honey.
definitely
Sorry, wife.
there's a regimen. And especially with group sex, like there has to be a game plan. You have to know this is what's going to happen. This is this person's job. This is my job. This is how we're kind of bounce off
this is your
of each
role.
other.
You're on ass patrol.
Gotta keep it organized. Gotta keep a nice tight ship so everybody enjoys themselves and it doesn't get weird.
Because that's not weird inherently.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What if you like you have to draw your role out of a hat, or if it's like assigned to you? You're like,
great.
I'm a really good finisher. I don't know what it is. I can't start, but I can fucking finish. So you fucking tag me in, and I will knock that shit out of the park. We should probably not talk about this anymore. All right.
No, so let's get back to the show. So winner this week, we got Janus. Like,
it was great.
This dude was just fantastic, start to finish. The only time I can remember ever hearing Prue say he used too much booze.
Yeah.
And that he deserved a fucking medal for.
That was wild. I like seeing Paul do it because then you're like, okay, well, it's someone who doesn't love booze who is telling you.
Every time Prue's just sitting there giggling like, oh, I disagree. It's the right amount. So it's always that funny dynamic of like they're opposites but equals. So yeah, it was funny as shit to see him kind of getting roasted on that. But of course he just won. Like everything he put out was fantastic. And then the loser of the week was Will, and man, he was trying so fucking hard, but just every time he did his stuff, he fucked something, and usually it was buttercream.
Okay, can I ask you a personal question real quick? Did you immediately know he was a little person, or did it take you a little bit?
No, I'm married one, man, so it's like I see it. Like you just kind of learn to pick it out.
I was like watching him. I was like, he's a little person. But then the way they filmed him, I was like, he's just a fucked up looking regular person. I was like, but no, he's a little person. Like I couldn't figure out what the fuck they were doing because they kept changing the camera angles and they elevated his fucking level. But then I was looking at his feet and it didn't look like, because you could see the distance, it didn't look like a platform. So I was like, did they build a fucking ramp? But then how does the fucking oven work with a goddamn ramp for a little person? It was fucking me up. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. I was like, am I fucking a bigot? Like, I don't get it, because I don't understand what I'm watching. His feet are, like, his hands are like fucking T-Rex.
Yeah, he's got the T-Rex arms.
It was fucking me up. And then I saw his family. I was like, oh shit. Like, it's a family of little people. But then you don't always get little people in a family. Like, sometimes you get tall people. And like it's a fucking, nature's a fucking wild mistress, as fucking Kramer says in Seinfeld. Like it's crazy. It was like half the episode. I was like, Shauna? I don't know how to say this out loud. He's little, right? Because I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm looking at, right?
Well, and it's understandable because traditionally on like any form of media, there's a specific type of dwarfism that we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
So any other form of dwarfism that's expressed, it's like, what is that? So I understand. You're not a bigot. You're just...
And a dumbass?
You're not
Is it appropriate?
You're not experienced with different forms of dwarfism is all.
All right. Yeah, yeah. There are different types of dwarfism. Apparently, and I just fucking saw a new one and it blew my mind. I didn't know how to take it.
It happens. It
It
happens.
was like, fuck. So then you fire the little person because he sucked at baking. Does that overtly make you a bigot?
No.
Or you just like,
No.
no, you just didn't do a good job.
He should have been kicked out with the second time he fucked up buttercream. Like, I am sorry, but buttercream is not that fucking difficult.
He's just not that good.
Now, there's, of course, different types of buttercream. You know, doing an Italian meringue buttercream, yes, that's a motherfucker. Period. No argument here. But doing a traditional buttercream and still having it split, like, the fuck is he doing? Watching some bugs fly around? It's not that goddamn difficult to look at some butter creaming in a fucking mixer and go, that's perfect. I'm fucking sorry. Now I understand there's
Your
pressure.
wife is now being a bigot.
Yeah, I know. I'm a fucking bigot, I guess. When
She's all. He probably couldn't see into the mixer to see what he was doing.
No, that's not her being a bigot. That's her speaking from experience. That's why I'm the baker in the family, because I can see above things.
Oh, yeah, Bogues. I love Seinfeld. I think it's fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, he totally deserved to be kicked out. Like he did not belong there and had nothing to do with his weird arms.
Yeah, if anybody else would have got kicked out, because it kind of almost looked like Maisam or Maisam, I don't fucking remember how to pronounce her name, but the young one.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like she might get the boot.
I feel like she should have got the boot for her eyebrows.
Yeah, them some fucking
just
eyebrows.
For the eyebrows. Like, what the
like, at least
fuck is
comb
happening?
them a little, like tame them down a little.
It's just like Americans traditionally try to go with like a thin whatever shape.
Oh, not anymore. No.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude. Well, that one person with the fucking unibrow, like that's traditionally what people find beautiful nowadays.
What?
But oh yeah, dude, it's terrible.
Unibrow?
It's damn near. Like you could put just your pinky in between. Yeah, that's more traditional now.
I don't get that at all.
It's terrible.
Okay. Yeah, no, her eyebrows are super thick and then taper to nothing. And it's like fake super thick. It's like penciled in super thick. It reminded me of my old bus. All right, this is weird. When I was a kid, my bus driver had the fucking painted on clown eyebrows.
Uh-huh.
And she was my stepdad who would bike he worked at the post office. He's a fucking army vet. He was a decorated war hero. He worked at the fucking post office. He would bike to and from work, and so he's in his bike shorts bending over weeding the garden in our front yard, and my bus driver with the paint on clown makeup is like, what's your dad's name? Like she was like a woman, but she sounded like a man. What's your dad's name? And she's like doing the sound, watching my stepdad bend over. It was too much for me to handle. I couldn't fucking process what I was experiencing as a young man. But she was like creaming for my gross fucking stepdad in his fucking gross bike shorts. So that's what I think about when I see eyebrows. I don't know about you guys. Fucking
Understandable.
Oh, weirdos with your fucking eyebrows. Yeah, fuck that girl. She fucking does the fucking liner lipsticks like she's in the 90s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand the rest of the world in fashion is behind America. Like, everyone follows America for some stupid reason. Like, we know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, I don't get it. Well, especially like London. Like, apparently London is like America Junior.
Stupid.
And it's like, why? There was a point in time, fashion-wise, that we looked to you. We looked to Milan. We looked to other places for fashion. And now you're like, nah, Americans got it right. It's like, man, we don't got it right. Fucking high-waisted shits come back in fashion. You look like you dropped a load in your pants is back into fashion. Eyebrows that look like fucking this are back into fashion. Like, no, man, it's don't do it.
So weird, man.
Don't do it. Yeah. Because this is what you talk about when discussing a baking show.
Obviously. Does the baking show do anything around Halloween related to baking goods? I don't know that they. I mean, they do. They have a holiday special. It's like
I was gonna say there's been holiday specials. Usually it's a Christmas special.
yeah, sometimes like individual contestants will do like a theme, you know, depending on what they like, or if it just happens to be around an era, like, you know, a regular holiday or something. But I don't think they do an overt like Halloween episode that I remember at all.
No, I can't remember any.
Yeah.
They definitely do the Christmas specials, which it's a one-off. You get a few contestants, and then somebody wins at the end. It might be an episode or two, but yeah, I don't think there's been a Halloween.
Was it last season or the season before last where we had that really weird lady who loved to do like bats and like?
Yeah, that was the one
stuff.
that I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
I think that was like 2 seasons ago.
All right, she was awesome.
Yeah, she was fucking great, and her and Noel, like, that should have been a separate show. Like, they went off and did wacky baking stuff together.
That'd be awesome. Oh, that'd be
or
so
like
cool.
She taught him how to bake. Like
she even came back for one of the specials that they did for the holiday, the Christmas holiday special.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I love that stuff. It's not the thing is Halloween. Janice is saying that it really isn't as big as other places or in other
it's
places.
not.
Like in UK, it's not that big of a thing. Like America made it a big thing. You know, like we do everything to the nth degree.
Yeah,
because you know capitalism. So
yeah, obviously,
yeah. I mean, it like that's just what we do. So no, it doesn't really. But you do get like glimpses into personalities that are sort of similar to either you or people you know or something that you can kind of connect with, you know, on those terms as contestants and stuff. What I really love about this show is that it strips away all the bullshit that we're taught to hate each other over, and it just provides the basics of what it means to be human. You care about the family you've chosen. You want to make good food for them, and you want to feel good about that food that you make. And you just sort of distill everything down to those fucking aspects of humanity, and it's about care and love and contentment, and that makes me feel really, really good. Like, I love seeing that in other human beings, because then I sort of feel like I'm human also, when normally I don't really feel human very much.
Yeah, you put that really fucking well. I think that's part of the reason why I appreciate this show so much as well. Because I definitely don't ever feel like a part of society.
All right, so should we do favorite, least favorite?
Yeah, so favorite for me was definitely... one, seeing that red velvet cake that was just so beautifully done, and then to have Paul Hollywood just like damn near pull his dick out and start rubbing it, because of how good it was. But coincidentally, that's also my least favorite moment, because I fucking stand by that should have been a handshake, because that cake was
definitely been a handshake.
Perfection.
Yeah, my least favorite was trying to figure out if that was a dwarf or not. I felt so bad about myself trying to figure out what the fuck was going, because I went back and forth, and my wife went back and forth, and we were like arguing back and forth. Like, we couldn't figure out what the fuck he was. Like, maybe he's an alien. I don't fucking know. Maybe he's a beetle. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that should definitely have been a handshake, and I was a little bit upset. Like, I don't know if, because there was a season where he was giving out handshakes like it was fucking going out of style. It was just like the first episode he gave 2 out. I was like, what the fuck is this? Who are you, fucking Candyman? You don't just fucking give that shit out. You got to make them pay for it. Like,
right? They have to earn that shit.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm assuming they did earn it. I don't fucking know. But like, you have that many good people all at once in the first fucking episode or something. Like, it felt weird. This feels closer to reality. But then you do get those little glimpses of, no, it was better than mine. Well, then why didn't you put your fucking hand out, dude? Like, fuck, show some, like, what do they have to do to get you to fucking stick your hand out? Like, are you just being like willy-nilly with it? Sometimes I'll give it out if I feel good. Sometimes I won't. Like, do you have any sort of guidelines on your own? Like I need a world where the handshake of Paul Hollywood means something.
There needs to be a definite like list of this is how you get one.
Yeah.
I'd stay within that. You know what? Maybe it was the fact that it was better than his.
Oh, he held it back like a bitch.
Maybe that's the narrative I'm gonna keep in my head to rationalize it. Because yeah, that cake was fucking perfection.
It looks so good. I was so mad at some of those other cakes where they just fucking like patted it on the bottom. It was like super thick with the fucking dusting. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? It said dust. It didn't say cake. Like, you gotta fucking, it didn't say paint it on. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Plus, how much fucking excess cake do you have, for fuck's sake?
Like,
all you're doing is like just leveling out that top. You shouldn't be using a whole shit ton of cake.
Ugh, it was so ridiculous. And another thing that fucking pissed me off is the dude had a kilt. What the fuck? Bake better. If you're gonna fucking bring a kilt to the show, bake better.
Well, and that's the funny thing too. Like traditionally in seasons past, anytime we get chemists, structural engineers, nuclear physicists, like people that are like wicked brilliant, they're usually like they're fucking with math to make stuff.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that guy was just like your average dude making stuff. It's like, come on, man, get with the program here.
It made me mad because it was like, oh, cool, he wanted to kill it. And I was like, but he sucks. But he's Scottish. Right. But he sucks.
Well, and then it's not even his fucking clan. It was his school colors. It's like, come on, dude.
His fucking school colors. Yeah. How do you get a kilt of school colors? Like, this is the thing? It seems wildly expensive to have a tartan just of your school. I get if it's like your nation or your culture or like a institution like a military force or something, but a school? I don't know, that's kind of weird. Yeah. And then he had this fucking weird tattoo on too, and his hair looked too good, and I kind of got mad about that. Like, you shouldn't have good looking hair and be an asshole. I'm such a piece of shit. Like fucking I can't help but judge people by how they look when that's all you're presented with initially.
Oh, of course.
And Janu's, I was like, this, I can't say it because it's what I think, and I can't say that out loud. Not impressed. And then, especially when we saw this scene with him walking hand in hand with his boyfriend, I was like, oh, come on. Like, I had things to say. But then I saw his food, and I was like, mad respect.
No, that motherfucker looked like he has the physique of a baker. Like, if that guy was like, hey, I'm going to make food for you, I'd be like, I'm going to fucking enjoy this.
And when he fucking won and he was calling his family or his boyfriend to tell him that he won, and he said he fucking pronounced the end. He was like, I can't remember how he mispronounced it, but he just sort of like looked at the camera and laughed. I was like, all right, I want to fuck you now. Like, I'm in. I'm 100% in. I apologize for everything I said before. I love you so much. I'm so glad you won. You're the best. He just won me over with his humanity. It was great.
He deserved it, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he made the best fucking cake, and it tasted the best. And that's what I love about this so much, is that you can be an amazing fucking talented chef and just have a bad afternoon. That's all it takes.
We've seen that shit send people home.
Yeah.
Like, one bad thing was just that bad that they're like, sorry, fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, we're at an hour. Okay, well, we should end this thing. We have lives, believe it or not, other than this.
Do we really?
No, we don't. I like to pretend, though. It makes me feel better about myself.
It's good to pretend.
We never queued it up, so what's your rating on this thing?
5.
Yeah.
Like, unless Noel walks off on set or Paul punches some, well, no, I don't think that would change it.
Make it better, almost.
Yeah, I don't know what would make this not a solid 5 every episode. I really don't know what they could do to change that.
It's a lot of fun. I love it. Will should have left. He left. Janus should have won. He won. It was a great episode, and I cannot wait to see how this season shapes out. And I do feel weird, like, as a grown man talking about that, about a baking show, but I can't help it when it's just like, if you watch it, like, it just feels like you love it. You can't help it.
Yeah.
So watch it and love it, people. Do yourself a favor. Why restrict something, you know? I mean, masturbate, have sex with your loved ones, and watch British Baking Show. That's all you need in life.
That's it. And coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just to get through 1 to 2. Like, that's fucking just life.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in live. We really appreciate you. And as always, evil spelled backwards is live. So always remember to get your asses out there and be evil. Like the fruits of the devil. Evil.
And learn how to make some fucking buttercream.
And let people know when you're a little person. Don't make them guess.